Hey everybody, Johnny Mack back home in Glidden, Iowa tonight. So we'll call this the old home dry practice dojo tonight. So one thing you can get in the habit of is every morning or every evening work on at least 10 or 15 dry presses. So first thing we want to start out with is actually verifying that we're doing dry practice. So we've put a temporary target on the wall. Once we're done, that target comes down. So we say dry practice is over. But to get started, chamber check, yep, it's absolutely clear. Absolutely nothing shiny in there. Stick a digit in the mag well, and we definitely have a clear firearm. So, we had a conference call last night with Samuel Middlebrook. He is the head of the Active Self-Protection Instructor Curriculum. So if you're wanting to do something totally different than any other instructor course you've been through before, sign up for this because it's deep into learning theory, how learners accept information and get that behavior change we're looking for. So he brought out some good tips for many experienced shooters that were on the call last night about how to improve things using your red dot pistol. And one of the things he talked about is motion produces motion. If you watched me when I first started to go into the appendix draw, I was hiking this shoulder up all the time. In fact, John Correa would sit there with his elbow on me and try to stop that. So one of the things that helps with that is instead of a more vertical grip, we're actually kind of coming backwards with that elbow a little bit. And then Adam Winch, who's another very experienced shooter who was in cohort number 1 with me, talked about not over clearing your garment. So we're just clearing the garment enough to reveal the firearm, getting a good purchase on the firearm. And our thumb is right there kind of on the top of the front or the rear sights. So we're coming up, and at this point I'm actually starting to tilt the firearm upward to the point where I can just barely see the front sight in my peripheral vision. And then as AJ Zito says, we're going to Judy chop, roll around that trigger guard and then press out, and as soon as I go up on a parallel line, the front sight's just rocking down. There's the dot, and there's the press. And one thing with the dot is it gives us instant feedback how good our trigger press is. So as we're coming out, there's the dot, press, no movement in the dot. So I know I got a good trigger press, and as long as that stays firm, that it's not wobbling, going up or down, side to side, we know that the shot is going to go exactly where we see it. So let's kind of put it all together in kind of about an 80% motion. So we're clearing, coming up, joining the hands out, there's the dot, there's the press. And then we'll try it one more time. We'll try to speed it up and we'll see if the wheels come off. So we don't have a timer, we'll just clear. A little bit of motion on that one. So we're gonna slow it down just slightly. So that was probably in the neighborhood of 1.2 seconds, 1.3, something like that. But great stuff. If you've thought about being an instructor in firearms, maybe you've done NRA or USCCA, Range Master, something like that, consider the Active Self-Protection Instructor Curriculum. It definitely will change the way that you teach and look at teaching.